Yes, sorry about that. My bad.
It's all good, man.
My
It's all
bad.
Hey, gotta get the timing right. I get it.
I always do this.
He does, though.
Dude, do you understand? Like me and Five, we've been doing the dumpster fire for 7 years. We still mess that up. So I completely get it. So trust me. It just happens. Trust me.
I didn't realize I pushed the button so fast.
Could have that quick trigger finger, like bam, 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 bam. So like that.
I messed it up again.
I was like, come on, Jake.
Yeah, we have a special guest today. And you know who it is? It's Tree.
How you doing, guys?
I'm doing great. Happy Friday, everybody. You know.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes.
Friday the 13th. Again.
For real. It's special Friday today.
My favorite day.
Favorite day? Nice. I don't know if Friday the 13th is my favorite day. It's just, I have bad luck, I guess. It's probably one of those things.
Okay.
I'm not going to break any glass. I'm not going to go underneath any ladders or step on any cracks. I guess it goes.
I was like,
not super
today,
superstitious, but
under a ladder.
Oh.
Well, do you guys like the Friday the 13th movies?
No, I have not. But yeah, I have a hockey mask similar to that as a prop. So I won't bring that out. I'm not going to do that.
That would have been awesome, though. That would have been awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about it until now.
I never knew what that was. I forgot, but someone said that they're actually saying something. It's not just a sound.
I'm not sure. I mean,
I heard that too.
Yeah, that's words. What's up, Caleb?
Yeah, Caleb. What's up, man?
What's up, Caleb?
Yeah, so Tree, I gotta ask you. I gotta ask you. How was the game 3 of the finals?
Dude, it was unbelievable, man. As I said, Caleb was the one. I work with him, so like he was the one who actually invited me to the game. I'm just sitting there like, I'm thinking about it. How many times do you get to go to a finals? Because I've been to Stanley Cup Finals games before, 16 to 17 when the Penguins made it there. That the atmosphere was incredible. It was a who's who of Indianapolis was down there. Definitely worth the trip, worth every penny. I was only down there for probably 18 hours because, most of that was trying to sleep in a hotel room. But otherwise, it's just, it was fun. So game 4 tonight, I will not be there, but it's the thing you need to understand too. I was looking up the ESPN broadcast after. It is so muffled, the crowd. It does not do it justice.
Oh, really?
The crowd was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's my least favorite thing that the NBA does, especially being like a Milwaukee Bucks fan and us having some of the top 5 arena atmospheres every season, and then just for them just to be like, it's so quiet.
It was like a golf clap. Like the NHL does that better. I know TNT does a better job because you at least get like the crowd that goes in there, especially last night's game, Edmonton, Florida. But at the same time, that wouldn't happen in the NBA. It's just like it feels like it's like muffled like a museum. You're trying to keep it quiet.
Yeah, and then that also gives a bad impression to people as well. Like, the NBA crowds are soft or they're not as explosive or passionate. And it's like, no, the NBA they have so many arena rules. You can't bring in stuff. You can't say certain things. And then also, like you said, with the broadcasting, making it loud, it just takes away from the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead, man.
I was going to ask you that. What sport has the better crowd? Football, hockey, or
playoff hockey. That atmosphere is different. Football atmosphere is good. The NBA, like game 3 was really good, but the NHL, come playoff time, you have a big game. It's second to none. Because I remember when in 2016, I was at the game Connor Sherry scored their OT winner. And that whole place, the roof just went off. I was one of them too. It just was a madhouse. Indy was close. It was very close. Because it was just everyone popped off. But it didn't have that big moment. It didn't have that I was hoping for a Tyrese Halliburton buzzer beater because if that happened,
no.
And I say, and the way Indiana plays, it seems like they're almost going to have one every night.
I mean, it was close, but they played really solid defense. They really didn't give OKC any chances to capitalize, more or less, and it was pretty close. And then, TJ McConnell, pride of Seton LaSalle.
Yeah,
he took care of. He's their like Swiss Army knife.
Exactly, that's exactly what I was about to say. He's like a Swiss Army knife. An annoying one though. If you're not an Indiana Pacers fan.
Oh yeah, Alex Caruso, he's had his moments, but he hasn't really been super visible in this series. But past couple series he has. Especially against Denver.
Yeah, as they say, he's kind of had the fall off the most, I'd say, for Oklahoma. But that's when I was doing my predictions. I picked Oklahoma to win, but I said Indiana can win if they really get down on their schemes defensively and stop them, because the Thunder aren't a great three-point shooting team, and they're a streaky offensive team. So as soon as you get them out the rhythm, they're kind of screwed.
Yeah, so. Especially since they can't really just chuck threes. They're more of a perimeter team.
Yes, exactly. What's up,
they're more of a mid-range and close-range team.
Yeah, they rely on that a lot. I think that's what, no matter win or lose, that's probably what their off-season plans are going to be, is get some three-point shooters.
Absolutely. I think, they might draft them. They might sign them. Dude, they've got so many draft assets. They could flip them for something too. Maybe the next year or two as well. But they got to worry about second apron as well because, SGA, you got to pay Chet. You got to pay Jalen Williams. You got to pay Isaiah Joe, Caden Wallace. Got to pay, a couple other guys too. Caruso.
Yeah, they have, I think, two more guys that are up on contract. They literally drafted all these players in 2 drafts.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but do they have money to sign those guys?
Probably 3 of them are gonna go, and then they'll probably keep the core.
They'll keep most of the core. And main thing is how much luxury tax you're going to swallow. Because the problem is with the NBA, they're debuting second apron, which means they're going to prevent your ability to trade draft picks, and it'll restrict you if you go over the luxury tax, super threshold, several, in consecutive years, I want to say it is. But I'm not sure. Because I know the Suns are going to be dealing with that, and that's why they're trading Durant.
Yeah, my Bucks just got out of it because we had to trade Chris Middleton, and that was the full Chris Middleton trade. So
yeah, I'm going to ask you, what do you think is going to happen with Giannis?
He came out 3 days ago saying he's staying in Milwaukee, and no one's talking about it.
I didn't even know about that. He didn't even mention it because I know he had. They mentioned he was exploring his options, but with Dame on the way out, they might. I think he was considering it.
As a Bucks fan and hearing how Giannis is, the NBA media never ever covers us right. I just say mainstream media hates Wisconsin teams in general.
Yeah, Midwest, it's kind of hard for the NBA media to cover. It's usually West Coast or East Coast.
But a close person to the team said that Giannis was never open to exploring options, and that was something done by ESPN. And then he was on Eurosports radio show, and they asked him about the finals, about what do you think about the Thunder and Oklahoma, and he was like, they're both great competitive teams. I'm supporting my friend Pascal Siakam. They're both great teams. The finals is there's a whole different atmosphere and level. And he said, I hope to be back to the finals one day with the Milwaukee Bucks. And he said that, and then literally the next day, because he was in Brazil with his family, he posted a picture with the Bucks jersey in front of the Jesus statue.
Nice.
So it's confirmed that he's staying with the Bucks, and the Bucks came out to put a stamp. They have no interest in trading Giannis whatsoever.
You're not going to get the same return for what he offers. That's the problem.
Yes, exactly. And then also another thing, a GM, he's anonymous, so I don't know, but an anonymous GM came out and said that as much as they do love Giannis, he's 30 years old, and their team's trajectory, they like where it's going, and they don't want to ruin it with giving up assets. Because you're going to have to give 5 players and 5 picks for him.
Yeah.
Like that is way too much compensation.
But that's how that's like the big difference in the NBA than like the NFL though, is like the NBA is so quick to make trades or big packages, like they're so desperate-ish.
They'll throw first-round picks like candy. Sometimes it works out, like for example, the Celtics when they traded for Porzingis, as well as. But sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, it hasn't really worked out with Dame. The Suns definitely did not work out. The Nets like flopped twice.
Yeah,
Sixers didn't work out with PG-13.
No, and it just the Clippers.
Yep, Clippers, Rockets.
The Heat, they made some trades and didn't work for Jimmy Butler. People don't realize they gave away a lot of picks for that, and that's how they were going to get Ant and all them. So,
what about in hockey?
I mean, hockey, we have some trades like that. Not really superstars going, but I mean, solid like second tier guys. Matthew Tkachuk was one that went from Calgary to Florida. That was one of the bigger trades that happened. Mikko Rantanen happened a couple of times. He got traded off from Colorado to Carolina, and then Carolina couldn't come to a deal with him, didn't really mesh with their system, so they flipped him off to Dallas, where they signed him there. I know, but most of the time, like they keep their core pieces. They usually develop in the draft, or they trade for prospects, and then mostly trade for depth. You know, middle six rentals, third line guys. I would say, like for example, the Oilers. They didn't really trade for much this past year. They merely added guys like Jake Wallman, Jeff Skinner, Victor Arvidsson. Guys that, I mean, aren't going to be like world beaters, but will fill a role and flush out the depth. Same thing for Florida. They added, I think, Seth Jones was their big piece, but they swallowed a lot of his contract.
I've heard of Seth Jones.
Yep.
Yeah, and, I'm trying to get into hockey, but being in Milwaukee and not having an NHL team, it's hard. Like, we have the Admirals, but like they're not televised a lot. It's hard to watch the AHL, you know.
Like, I mean, you get more of the prospects. I think they're Nashville's affiliate, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so I mean, you're not going to get like a ton of great prospects per se. You had Yaroslav Askarov last year, but once again, he's gone. So more or less, you're just they've talked about Milwaukee as a potential NHL franchise, but your arena is not really fit for hockey. Like insert.
Yeah, but here's the thing I can give you though is that the architect who made it has blueprints in it that if a NHL ownership group did bid, that they can do construction on the arena.
So kind of like what Utah's doing right now.
Yes,
they're just going to renovate it over the summer.
Yep, exactly. I think you could actually find the blueprints online as well, where he has it at the two goal areas to do it, and the side where the players would sit, because those areas are. And I guess they have it ready for construction, but they just need a team to bid. So I heard a rumor saying that there's a new contract saying that Pfizer Forum can't have an NHL team at all. But then that goes against the contract that the architect and the sponsors who were with the city when it got approved said otherwise. So,
maybe the person that owns the building or the people that own the Bucks have to have some sort of stake in that team. Maybe it's something like that.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Because when I first saw it was just any ownership group, but maybe the Bucks owners want a piece in it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think it's one of those things where I don't think they just don't want to suffice paying rent. I mean, that's why I thought Houston would have been a decent role, because Tillman Fertitta has an NHL ready arena, plus he owns the Rockets, and I believe he owns the arena too, but I think he's lost interest in that. I think the NHL wants to go back to Atlanta. I think they're looking to finalize that. See, my thinking is guarantee me that like you're going to get better ownership than Atlanta Spirit, I will support it. Because if you look at the Thrashers, like they got screwed over by some really, really bad ownership during that time.
Really?
And I think with the expansion in the South and doing well in Tampa Bay and Florida, I think they really want to give it another chance. And Nashville too, Carolina. So I think that's what they're trying to bank on.
Okay.
It depends on the ownership, really.
Well, like about 15 minutes ago, Kent told me something about Antonio Brown.
Yes, he's being wanted for attempted murder, But the thing is, he apparently got jumped by 7 guys. So I don't know if it's really going to stick. But at the same time, it's just like, yeah, it sounds like AB.
It does. It really does.
He just can't stay out of trouble, man.
Yeah, that's how it goes. I know it. People blame the Vontaze hit. I think it just exacerbated things. Yeah, like there are a lot of things like Ryan Clark came out and said he was like that before the hit.
Yeah, so, I was going to say, that's what I hear. A lot of people who are close or just in the locker room said that he's just always been a character.
Yeah, as I said, like if the hit did anything, it might have just accelerated things, but I don't know.
Maybe it made it worse.
Maybe. I don't know. Because it was slow. It was a gradual burn. It wasn't anything insane.
But he's a great talent.
Oh, he was incredible. But the problem is, by the end of it, you're just sitting there like, I can't cheer for this guy because, I mean, you look at the off-field antics, it's like, dude, what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't understand, like, real quick, not to bring it up, like, but someone is like, but when not now, thankfully, I live in a better neighborhood. When I was younger, not living in the best neighborhood, and you get out of poverty and all this stuff, and you just like, I get it's a mental health thing, but like he had therapists trying to talk to him, coaches, support from other players, like you had all of what you could possibly have, and still just.
I mean, you have to be receptive to the help, or else you're done. It's one of those things. I know the thing is, like the chip on his shoulder made Antonio Brown like one of the greatest receivers of his generation. But he never let go of that chip. Yeah. And I think that's what did him in.
Yeah, but then how did you feel when he got traded, though?
It was just relief to the Raiders. I mean, it was not good value, but you're paying the cancer tax because it was to the point where he walked out on the team. He wanted nothing to do with it. He was actively disparaging everybody. Like, and it was because like he didn't get player of the year from the team, but Juju did. And he just got pissy about that. And that was the final straw and left. But I mean, at that point, like he was going through like some weird stuff that year. Like he threw a furniture off a 14th floor balcony. About like him just going haywire, like at coaches and other like pieces during the games. It just.
And then
the helmet debacle when the
with the Raiders
changed.
With the Raiders.
Yeah.
And the dude pissed away $30 million guaranteed. All he had to do was wait to start a game, and he would have gotten it.
Yeah. He could have guaranteed $30 million when the first season started.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know how Tom Brady actually got him to stay.
Eventually, you have to remember he did fall apart. It just took another year. And then he went off in the blaze of glory. I'm just sitting there like, am I really watching this right now? Antonio Brown's just like raising the crowd, doing the peace sign.
This is, I know.
Were you live with Tom or Five?
No, I was not. I was watching Red Zone at the time. I'm like, what?
I was actually watching that game. I'm like, why did they take it off his?
Yeah, and like he apparently flipped out about playing time, and then Arians told him to go because I think shit.
Go back to the locker room.
Actually, I think I was watching Tom because I wasn't watching the game, and then he was on his computer and he looks up and he said, "Oh my God, Antonio Brown is walking off the field."
Yep, because he's probably watching the Packers on the live stream.
Yeah, he was.
He has like on his setup. I've been to his house in New York before. He has the setup in that corner right over there.
Okay.
So he's able to see it from there.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, I was like, my TV is in my corner as well, right here.
Mm-hmm. I have mine over here, too. So.
I got mine over here.
I mean, it's easier because the problem is if I have it back there, I'm going to have to, like, look to the side or, like, it looks weird.
Yeah.
And it's always easier, too, because you can look at chat easier, you know.
Yep. I have another monitor right here, so that works as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saving up for my job is to get a nice new PC set up so I can help with Jay with the streams, put more stats up, maybe some graphics and highlights and things.
I know the problem with like StreamYard and Streamlabs, but the problem is like they're very unintuitive with a lot of the like graphical aspects. They're very linear. So it's not really something that really you can add in. I use XSplit, but I know a few other people like use OBS, but those are just like things I can just like add certain elements and then build from there.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's just a pain to set up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I always hear. That's why I like when I hear about like other content creators, that's like when they're in their group or something like that, they always pick like similar or like the same systems, like software. Like they just don't change.
Yeah. I know, as I said, a lot of people use OBS for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing the research for right now, is to see which one I like. I just want something that's simple and straightforward, but it's kind of hard to find that stuff.
Yeah, you have to do a little toying around with those, more or less.
Yep.
I know like for editing, everyone like uses Adobe Premiere. I can't use it; it's just way too unintuitive for me. But it's just, and it crashes a bit. But I'm just like, I can't even do crossfades. I have to like add them in general, but it's like it's weird.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm tired of using my phone. I want a desktop so bad.
I know a few people that edit stuff on their phones, but it's just like I don't know if I could even imagine doing that. I feel like it would just be.
Oh yeah, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Especially like,
just
when you're
like
trying
sitting there like this and like just trying to like edit like that, like.
I know, yeah, it's like.
Yeah, cutting videos on your phone is the worst because of how tiny your phone screen is, anyways, and then like mess up on your thumb or whatever.
Yep.
And you gotta undo it.
Oh.
Yeah, there's so many like highlight clips for Instagram that I've spent like 30 minutes doing, and I just scrapped them. Like people asked me this season, like besides being live with Jay a lot, but like, why didn't you post a lot of highlights? One, Instagram was taking them down. And then when I was editing them out, they was just messing up too much. That was so frustrating.
And you gotta be careful about the copy strikes too.
Yeah, you can't have like logos on Instagram, and that's what I keep forgetting to cut off.
Huh, interesting. I didn't realize you had to do that with Instagram. I know with YouTube, usually if it's the used footage, most of the leagues will just claim the copyright, like the monetization for themselves. They won't really take down the video. So, more or less, I'm surprised that Instagram has that.
And with Instagram, it's not all the time, but like if you do it consistently, like it's the bot for Instagram is just so inconsistent. Like I posted like 20 videos in a row with the Fox logo on it, no problem. I post one with a cool dunk from Giannis, and I'm not allowed to upload it. So like, like it's
I'm surprised by that. I figured the NBA is a little more social media savvy.
They are, but it's the whole, like on YouTube, they're not. They're like the NFL on YouTube for some reason, but on like Twitter, again, Instagram, and even Facebook, they're very, very light and not as strict. But for some reason, for like you, I don't know if it's like, I have a theory that YouTube kind of like tells companies to put copyrights when they don't really want to, because on other platforms like Twitch, you can listen to music. Instagram, you can listen to music live, but on YouTube, you can't. Like, I think it's a YouTube structured thing.
I think YouTube, like most of the, like they're probably in partnership with the leagues, so I'm guessing like they have their automatic systems already detected, which gets the monetization. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they had an issue, like they wouldn't take the money. I think it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I use some of the clips from the NFL website, and I send it to my editor. He said, there's nothing wrong with it because it actually let him put it into my videos.
They'll allow you to put it in the videos. They'll put them up. They'll just claim the monetization.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think it might be like a timing thing as well. Maybe like you can't upload it the same day as the game was up. Maybe the day after you could, or like a week, depending on it. But I feel like it's something like that, because again, there's days where on Instagram I'm totally fine, no nothing, but then there's times where they will lower the quality too instead of taking your videos.
Yeah.
Twitter and Instagram do that. So like I guess they have their tricks, and then YouTube's is just demonetized.
Which is not worst case scenario, but at the same time, it's
Just not, especially until a lot of people don't have like a YouTube rep to help them with certain things all the time.
Yeah, but even then, the YouTube reps might not help you with just using footage. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
So let's get to the topic that I invited Tree here for.
I think I have an idea what this is about.
As me and Kenton here, we're Packers fans. We have to deal with it for many years. And that is Aaron Rodgers.
Here's the thing. We had to deal with this with Latter Stage Ben. I don't want Latter Stage Ben anymore. He's 41. He doesn't have any mobility. And now it's just...
You know what? I thought clickbait and all the other members of clickbait, I know they gave you a hard time about this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, don't worry. We all give it to each other. I mean, when Giants signed Russell Wilson, we put on 5.
Yeah.
When Brandon was falling apart, Bryce Broncos were falling apart, we gave it to him. When Tom would lose in the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers, we give it to him.
Yeah.
And Scooter, it's just every time the Cowboys lose, we just go.
Well, I'll take it a little easy on you today.
As easy as it gets.
It's not.
I heard it's like a 1-year deal worth 13 point something else.
Yeah. I get a max of 19, but it's not even about the money. It's just the distraction.
Yeah.
And I don't believe he's going to move the needle, if I'm going to be completely honest here. Because as I said, like,
one more game.
Yeah, I mean, but the problem is, like, as I said, it's the mobility issue. Like, if we're getting the Aaron Rodgers from 10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
But now he's 41. He's got, he wasn't the same after the Achilles injury. He did not look good for the Jets. But it's just...
He looked horrible.
And he also more has, his ego has always been loud and heavy, but now it's even more of a...
And the problem is now his ass can't catch the check. It checks his mouth or writing. One of those things.
Yeah, but now he might be the savior for Pittsburgh. I'm like,
I mean, Tomlin wanted him, and I mean, the Steelers were pretty much getting dragged along through this whole ordeal, and I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, but you know what I was hoping? He would have signed with the Minnesota Vikings.
I was hoping so too. I was on that boat the whole time. We needed to complete the cycle. I mean, I don't care if the Steelers wouldn't have had a quarterback. We complete the cycle.
Yeah. Because I heard that J.J. McCarthy is not quite ready yet from the
meniscus.
Yeah.
I think they'll go for a veteran quarterback. I mean, do you think they go after someone like Kirk Cousins again?
No, I
heard
I think Kirk Cousins himself, just because of the fallout he had with the Vikings before, I think the Vikings might be come back, but I don't think Kirk Cousins wants to.
Yeah, I don't think the contract's going to work out either.
No,
it's one of those things.
Hey, they can ask the Cleveland Browns. They have 4 quarterbacks on the roster.
Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett. Maybe. Yep. I mean, Carson Wentz is still out there.
Shitposting Sanders is out there. The other guys out there.
Dylan Gabriel, yep.
So
you've got guys, but they're not really good.
But then, I'm fine with Aaron Rodgers, but they got rid of George Pickens. Why?
He's a distraction. The problem is, with George Pickens, I knew this was happening when they traded for DK Metcalf. They're very similar receivers in terms of their skill set. Home run threats, physical freaks of nature, questionable route running, have a tendency to crash out. The problem is with George Pickens, he has insane talent, but he'd repeatedly take running plays off. He would have issues with, in terms of his temperament and control. That Cincinnati game, Week 18, was pretty much the final straw, I feel like, because he was talking smack. He had, issue with the media, and suddenly he has no receptions. He dropped a couple big balls, and on that final drive, he ran a really terrible route that would have gotten them into field goal range, but he misread it and just he was awkward in the off shoulder, and I'm just like, yeah, that's it. He's done. And I mean, I'm surprised like they didn't trade him at the draft, but it's like a lot of people didn't want him because there's a reason why he fell to the second round. I believe Tom was flipping out because the Packers didn't draft Pickens at the time, if I remember correctly. But it's just like, as I said, he was just prone to crash outs. And I don't know how he's going to deal with being a number 2 in Dallas. So, I mean, have fun. I mean, as I said, like Bears fans were excited for Chase Claypool, and look how well that turned out.
Oh God!
Poorly.
I knew that was going to be bad too.
Same too. I thought it was going to be bad. I'm shocked we got a second round pick for him. I'm like, really?
Well, yeah, the Packers did offer a second round pick.
Yep, exactly. But the problem is the Bears' first round pick was going to be higher because it was their first.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy we did not get that. I'm so happy.
I would have been taunting Tom the whole time. Trust me.
Yeah, you would have. I know you.
I'm like, dude, have fun, dude. Have fun.
Joining you in the taunting.
But then, so you guys have Aaron Rodgers out, and you guys have DK Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
But behind DK, it's nobody there.
I mean, it's we're waiting to find out who the next wide receiver 2 is. I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's going to be Alan Lazard because of the Aaron Rodgers connection.
Well, you know what? I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say the same thing.
We're bringing back Randall Cobb, Jake Kumaro, Jordy Nelson. We're going to see what he's up to. I'll probably bring in Nathaniel
James Jones back from the podcast.
Yeah, Jake Jones looks healthy out there.
I was like, he's literally like the only one. James Jones is like the only one who like looks like he's still like in pretty good like physique, you know.
If we can get a second round pick, we'll have to trade Romeo Dobbs.
As I said, don't give him ideas. But I still think it's going to be Lazard. And they're looking at Jonnu Smith as a potential trade target, but the problem is like with Jonnu, that is Arthur Smith's version of crack. Like he cannot live without Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith was his big piece in Tennessee, and he got pretty much as many targets in Atlanta in his final year as Drake London and Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
he loves him as Jonnu Smith.
Really does.
Well, that's not going to go well though.
What do you predict? How many games?
Probably 8 and 9, 9 and 8. Max first round exit, the usual stuff. And the problem is like there's no other optimism to really feel that way. I know with the Steelers they're having issues with TJ Watt being on a holdout, but I mean I think they're gonna get something done. He's gonna be commanding over $40 million a year because Myles Garrett got $40.
Oh yeah, Myles Garrett. Ooh, he got paid.
Yeah, so Watt's gonna get 40, but we're just sitting here laughing at the Bengals, but.
I'm hoping we can trade him.
I mean, you might be able to trade for Shamar Smith or Shamar Stewart at this rate.
Oh yeah, that's right. The contract they don't want to pay him the money that he.
So wait, the Bengals have 2 players.
It's not that he doesn't want to pay Shamar Stewart. I think it's like an injury clause where if he gets injured, his guarantees are voided. That's the issue they're having right now. Because they're worried about Amarius Mims last year where he suffered that major injury.
Yeah, but can an organization do that?
I mean, the Bengals are known for being pretty cheap. So it would not shock me.
Pretty cheap.
Well, there goes the rumors of Jair Alexander going there.
I mean, if he gets paid enough, who knows?
Or I think Jair goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The question is, I would say maybe, but the problem is we already have Darius Slay. So I don't know if they're going to be taking Jair as a cornerback.
I think he's going to go to the Ravens.
Ravens wouldn't be a bad idea. Raiders wouldn't be a bad idea either. Maybe the Dolphins to replace Jalen Ramsey.
You know what? If he goes to the Raiders are going to have 2 of the first round corners that the Packers picked.
Mm-hmm. They have Eric Stokes too, right?
Yep. So it's like, damn.
What if no one picks up Jair, which is very unlikely because he's a talented player. But what if he comes back to the Packers and takes the deal that they offered him because he can't find a team.
I think they'll find a team. I think it's going to be one of those things, but who knows?
I'm here. The thing that I'm hearing is going to be the Minnesota Vikings.
Vikings? I know you have a few guys on that team, but I'm trying to think.
Is the big one.
Yeah, Jones. Yeah. Hey, he would probably be like a cornerback too in that system.
Yeah, he would. But the Vikings secondary is trash. They have no corners.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Jair, like, the problem is he going to be back to full form after his injuries? So that's going to be tough to gauge.
Man, that hurts. He's literally my second favorite player of all time on the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
But see, just like concept, he's never going to buy a Packers jersey ever again because we get rid of.
Yeah, I said I'm tired. I can't buy another jersey because every time we do, it's not every time, but most of the time they get rid of that player, and I'm tired of spending $130 on jerseys.
Yeah, it costs a lot of money to buy jerseys. Jeez.
Oh yeah, $150. I mean, and the problem is the quality is not that great anymore. This is one I bought on eBay, the Jack Lambert. But I know, like, it's still decent quality, but, like, some of the newer ones, like the Kenny Pickett ones I have there, like, plastic or, like, printed on. It's weird.
You know what? You know what I do? I find a bootleg.
Bootleg's not a bad idea, but the problem is you're probably going to be waiting, like, 6 months to get your jersey, and it's probably going to be, like, totally messed up. It's like Jack Labmert or whatever it is. Like the Although with Fanatics, they do that anyway, so.
Yeah. So, but the one that I got from China, they're pretty good quality. So.
I was like, I know it's not probably since it came out and was popular, but for a long time, they were doing what I'll use Nike for example. That Nike shoe factory, they were having their real ones, and had their fake ones were being made at the same factory. Because the fake ones were the real ones. The only difference is they stitched different tags on the fake ones.
Yeah, the real ones didn't have the official tag.
Yeah.
They probably got more of a cut.
Yeah, and I also found out, like, Nike shoes are made at $1.
Oh.
Ouch.
And they sell them for hundreds.
Yeah. That's capitalism right there.
For real, I want a Nike shoe for $1.
Yeah, I think like some of the shipments will do it too. But the problem is like the labor's super cheap down there, and that's probably why they can get it for that cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which sucks and has a whole other issues of problems.
Not now because of the tariffs, but.
Oh my God! Did you guys see how much computers have rose now? Oh my God!
With the graphics processors, everyone's trying to dip into to crypto.
Yeah.
God damn! Why now?
I know. As I said, like when I was looking a couple years ago, like a premium laptop is now like 5,000, 5,500. When I was like 10 years ago, it was like 1,500, 2,000.
Yeah. I got mine for about $2,000.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna need a new one soon, but
oh man.
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta do it now before they get more and more expensive.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's just trying to get in on the crypto train. Mine for the crypto.
They really are. So
everyone wants to do those pull rugs to get money back.
Yep. I mean, if I'm doing crypto rug pulls, there's a problem. Something's going horribly wrong.
That's desperation at the top.
Mm-hmm.
That is the desperation. Yeah. So anyway, didn't the Pittsburgh Steelers get rid of Najee Harris also?
Yes, he is a free agent, but the problem is he's with the Chargers now. I know with Najee, it's like it was a money thing. He got more money from the Chargers. So the problem is like Najee was like take it or leave it for me. Like I was never a fan of the pick because once again, who's blocking for him? And like he has 1,000-yard seasons, but it's like kind of like those winning records for Tomlin doesn't really mean anything because most of the time he wasn't really explosive. More explosive back in this system was Jaylen Warren. So you're hoping with our third-round pick from Iowa and Jaylen Warren, you get a little bit more of a diversity per se, but more or less it depends on how Aaron Rodgers does. Because if Aaron Rodgers either gets injured or sucks, you just zone in on the run.
Has they been saying anything for training camp?
Aaron Rodgers has made it to minicamp. So
he was out there practicing.
Okay.
Yep. He looks like a middle-aged dad, like either in a fantasy camp or trying to prove to his son that he still has it.
He's like, I'm not losing one-on-one to you, son.
Yep.
And it looks like he's been married for a couple of weeks now.
Yep, marriage, and apparently, like, the Steelers were good for his soul. It's like chicken soup for the soul, but Steelers.
Really?
Yep.
Didn't he say the same thing about the New York Jets?
Yes.
Yep, pretty close.
Like, what did the Steelers say? Hey, we'll give you extra therapy or all the ayahuasca you can.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. or let's have a group dominance retreat for the whole group.
Yep.
He just has his little spot in the locker room.
So who is on the offensive line anyway to block?
For the Steelers, our center is Zach Frazier, second-year player to West Virginia, really solid this past year. So I think you've seen him there for a good bit. Guard, you're having some transition. Isaac Siumalo still there at left guard. Mm-hmm. Right guard is now Mason McCormick. He filled in pretty solidly for James Daniels. He's in Miami now, I believe. So he's gone, but you have relative there. The tackles are the huge question because with Broderick Jones, massive disappointment last year, but you're hoping from him converting from right to left, they'll fix things. Dan Moore, like he wasn't that good, but Tennessee gave him $50 million guaranteed. I'm like, really? You gave him $50 million? Oh, okay. Yeah, they overpaid him a ton. Wow. But I mean, the Titans are desperate, and that's why the Titans are the Titans.
Yeah.
But I know the thing is for our right tackle will be Troy Montano, who you drafted first round last year, but the problem is he was hurt for most of last year. He only played one game, so he's a question mark too.
Hey, I'm just putting this up there. David Bakhtiari is still out there.
Yeah, Bakhtiari's not the same though. He's like Tony Vaselli, just the injuries took him out.
But you know, Aaron Rodgers might push hard for it.
If that happens, I mean, you're bringing in Aaron and his boys.
Yeah, it's going to be the same thing all over again with the Jets.
Yeah, and with the Jets, I mean, you saw that coming.
Ooh, yeah.
Especially when they signed Randall Cobb, I was like, oh, no.
Yep, Randall Cobb, Adrian Amos, Alden Lazard, Nathaniel Hackett.
You know, I'm actually shocked Adrian Amos didn't work out for them. Out of all the players that they did sign, I thought he was the one that would.
Yeah, but he was past his prime.
So he played decent for the Packers, but as soon as we let him go, he just.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Green Bay does that all the time. Let the guy go 1 or 2 years before they hit their down.
Mm-hmm. Phoenix says, nah, Aaron Rodgers is going to dominate. Steelers are going to the Super Bowl.
That's a bold statement right there. You know, if that happens, I'll wear number 8 Aaron Rodgers Pittsburgh Steelers jersey.
That's Tommy Maddox erasure.
I was like, if that happens, I was gonna say shave my head, but I like my hair too much.
But I think it's gonna be a disaster, or
I mean, I hope not, but I'm not looking forward to it.
I think I think your guys' defense is gonna carry you guys again.
It depends if TJ Watt's healthy, but it pretty much hope TJ Watt gets the quarterback. But if you saw like in the playoffs and like against big teams, their defense would just go to shit.
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful about that.
You know what? I think just tank next year and try to get Archman.
The Steelers don't tank though, so you got to be careful about that.
But I had a question. In the draft, what do you think about the Pittsburgh Steelers passing off Shedeur Sanders with the 21st pick?
I was worried they were going to reach on a quarterback, but I'm glad they didn't because I didn't really like many players from this class. It was just a bunch of guys who could be good. Like the problem is I was worried they're going to pick Jalen Milroe, but I was glad they didn't. Shedeur, like I wasn't super crazy about. I was like, could be good, but the problem is it's just like it didn't really wow me.
What's up, Hawkins?
But I'm just glad they picked a defensive tackle. Will Howard, he's the lottery ticket. Could be something. If he's not, whatever, you re-roll the dice.
So you don't like any QB that of this draft class?
Nah, not really. The problem is they're all question marks. Jackson Dart, very boom bust. Does he work outside the Ole Miss system? Cam Ward, he's still pretty raw. He needs development, but he's probably the best in this class.
Yeah, he's the one I hear the most about.
Yep.
Yeah. But I heard out of Brown's camp, the door is kind of new and training.
It's too early to tell because like training camp preseason doesn't really tell you anything about the NFL season. Because Malik Cunningham was really good for the preseason, but he hasn't done much in the regular season.
I totally forgot about that.
Yep. Kenny Pickett looked really good a couple preseasons ago, but didn't work out.
So what really happened with Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh?
I think the problem is he didn't want to be a backup, so he requested out. The problem is I don't know how much is on Kenny and how much is on Matt Canada because Matt Canada was a terrible coordinator. He was just doing jet sweeps all the time. It was like running a middle school offense. Jet sweeps, run up the middle, short passes, and screens. That's all he did. I'm like, we ran this in 7th and 8th grade. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I heard you one time talk about that before.
Yeah.
So now who's the offensive coordinator?
Arthur Smith.
That's at work.
Which is why they're potentially getting Jonnu.
But the question is, does Aaron Rodgers like that kind of offense?
He doesn't really have a choice. There's no one else to really. Yeah, there's nowhere else to go. No one else wants him. It's just like the two people that are stuck last in the dance. It's like might as well. There's like the Giants. Like Aaron didn't want to go to the Giants. Vikings didn't want him, and like a couple, everyone else is a quarterback.
Phoenix says it was like someone who has 4 favorite plays playing on Madden.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers really passed his prime there.
He is, but it's a great career. He's going to end up in Canton, but he is. Like I said, at 41, it's just like it's not there anymore.
Yeah, he should have retired.
Especially
the
with
problem is, even his final year in Green Bay, he still he was showing flaws.
Yeah. But the question is, how much is that cap hit if the Pittsburgh Steelers just cut it before the season starts?
They're not going to cut him. The problem is, unless it just goes haywire, I would say probably the $20 million, and then maybe a little bit for next year. But as I said, it's just $20 million guarantee, or $13 million with incentives putting it up to 19. But it's not about money for Aaron; it's about ego and pride.
Yeah, he even said he wants to try and play until next year too, as well.
No, that's no way.
Yeah,
he didn't take care of his body like Brady did, and Brady that shouldn't have worked out.
I know, yeah. Brady, he would go out there every day and throw.
Yeah, he would just stretch.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't even like a big guy. He didn't run that fast. He just he was less like a freak when it came to preparation and body maintenance.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers didn't get into that stuff until like his last 3 years with the Packers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the problem is, as I said, it's too late. I mean, Ben was the same way. Like he didn't really take care of it until after the fact, and by that point, he was done.
Well, Ben, he was like a statue back there.
Yeah, like it was his final years were sad. Like he should have retired after his elbow injury in 19.
Yeah,
like the way he would walk and like do his like weird little hobble, like it was so depressing.
Yeah.
But you know who I'm worried about? Might have the same thing happen to him that happened to Ben. Is Josh Allen.
They're very similar players. Like Ben, like in his younger days, was prototype Josh Allen. The problem is, how long is his body going to hold up? Because he takes a beating in that system.
Especially until like Josh Allen doesn't like do the I call it the weak quarterback slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, good God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, Tree, I guess this is the thing. I brought this up in a past episode, but like I think Guardian caps are good, but I think Guardian caps give players like an unconscious like reliance, like they're more safe and they don't tense up as much for impacts, and that's why we're seeing a lot more whiplash concussions for people who still wear Guardian caps.
I think the problem is like there's only so like even with impact, like there's only like so much a Guardian cap can do. Like if Tua had a Guardian cap when he had that concussion against Buffalo, he still would have had a major concussion.
Yeah.
It only does so much. Like it maybe impacts a little bit, but at the same time, the brain's still going. It's just, I mean.
And especially,
I feel like it's going to get to the point where the NFL will be playing without pads. Like it'll be non-contact. It's only a matter of time because I feel like they're slowly weaning off pads. Like you don't have the fullback shoulder pads like you used to. They're getting thinner, smaller. I think it's just going to be more agile, but you're still going to have non-contact ACL, Achilles, and meniscus injuries. Hamstring too.
I think it will turn almost into like rugby almost.
A little bit like rugby, but I mean, I feel like it may not even be that. I feel like it might be more flag football-ish than rugby.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you brought up flag football. What do you think about the NFL being the Summer Olympics?
I mean, I think like at this point, you're going to get Justin Jefferson against a Lithuanian plumber or a Polish welder, and it's just going to be magic. You get some poor Amazon worker from Guatemala just sitting there next to Jamar Chase, like, oh shit, and then it's like, oops.
I mean, what about the guys that play rugby? They can play.
Yeah, I mean, you have a couple guys that could do well. Like, I mean, Jordan Mailata from New Zealand, you could probably have him as the offensive line, but who else do you have on that team? Canada could probably field a decent team. Yeah. Nigeria could probably field a decent team defensively and in the line, maybe a little bit running back wise with Dario Gunbowale. But I would say it would if there are Jewish players in the NFL, would Israel work? Because I know they do it with baseball.
Oh yeah, they do it with baseball. But isn't that newer though? Like
relatively, I know. Like the past 20 years, Italy does it too. Like with Italian heritage.
But I think the USA team will dominate.
I think so. I think it's going to be the same. Like the Chinese are going to be pissed because it's going to be an event they do not do well.
Oh yeah, Chinese, even in Japan.
Japan's starting to burgeon in football though, because I know like they've been trying to like be interested in football, so they might do well. Like
I know South Korea has some teams also.
Like Germany might not do too badly.
Yeah.
The UK might not do too badly. France might do too badly.
What about Italy?
Italy, maybe. I don't know how much of a football program they have though.
I would say Spain probably has a better chance.
Spain would probably work too. Yeah. Brazil might be okay, but as I said, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but so far I think Japan would probably be number one because number two behind us because of how high, like you said, like they're building football fields for schools now. Open football fields at parks. They're having, and the only reason I know this about this is like maybe 2 months ago, I really watched a video because we were talking about last year when Team USA lost to Japan.
One
game.
Yep, I know. It's the same thing. What happened with baseball? Like Japan's kind of embracing it.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I just went on a whole deep dive after like that happened. I'm like, oh yeah, Japan beat us, and then I was like, let's see how it goes. And no, yeah, they're treating it. They have like for schools now, they have a thing where you can choose soccer or football. Like,
oh, nice.
So yeah, so it's cool. They're teaching kids. They're taking seriously where like you're having kids watch film of like NFL players and like, oh, that's how it's done, and then they're watching like coaches talk about rules and examining film. Like they're really, really like accepting the football culture and going through it. And they're even like having girls participate. Like it's crazy. Like it's nice. Amazing.
One thing about Korea, they got into football right after that Super Bowl that the Pittsburgh Steelers won.
In 2009?
Yeah, because
with Heinz Ward.
Yeah, because of Heinz Ward. Mm-hmm. He went to Korea and he was like a hero over there. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, they've been trying to get more Asian people to play football over there. So.
Mm-hmm. I'm shocked there isn't more Asian kickers though, because of how powerful they are.
It mostly like you would have to convert from football to football. I know Young Wei Koo is probably the closest one, but you have some American like soccer kickers, Australian soccer kickers too, kickers and punters. Martin Gramatica was a very notorious one. Janikowski, back in the day. Josh Lambo, he played MLS, but it's kind of a different transition.
But like those guys, if they do play in the Olympics, do you think they'll stay with the USA team, or do you think they might go to their own country to play for their country?
It varies. I would say some would play for their own country, but I feel like the best of the best will probably play for the USA. Because most players are American.
Yeah, because Kyrie Irving is technically Australian, but he chooses to play for Team USA. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
I mean, if he didn't make the USA team, he might go to Australia, but that's different.
Kyrie Irving's definitely making, when he's healthy, the team. USA.
I mean, there's so many good players, and there's only few positions on the football team. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how you're gonna get rid of all these good players that don't want to play.
And are they doing the NFL flag football league where the rules where it's like 7v7?
Not sure.
No, I think it's gonna be a real football with just
flag.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like you guys said, I think USA could dominate for years if that happens.
It's like, hopefully, it's technically our sport. That'd be tragic if we lost again. Just like very tragic.
I would be surprised if the USA loses to any team.
Oh yeah, they're getting dogpiled if they lose to a team.
Oh yeah,
the memes would be immaculate though.
I mean, they would. They would.
Yeah. So yeah.
Hey Trey, I have a question.
What's up?
When did you start making your hateful guides?
Oh, the haters guides? Early 2017. I actually started as just an experiment at the time. As I know, I was doing stuff in late 2016, but I felt like getting a challenge because I wasn't even doing it for the views, but just for creative release. So that's how I got my start with the NFL playoffs.
Oh, yeah,
they were a lot briefer than what they are now.
Yeah, because that's what I saw. Because that's when I found you, was when you just started doing it. Because I started watching you when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started watching you when I was 16, 17. Nice. And almost. I've been Dang, I've pretty much been watching you for like 10 years, dude. Holy cow.
Nice. I know. As I said, time flies, dude.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but I should because he was funny. He did a couple of NBA videos, and I was hooked.
Yep. Definitely, man.
Yeah,
especially with the baseball ones. Those ones are also your funniest too.
Nice. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem, man. Like I said, watching you kind of got me into YouTube sports. Like I was in like the NBA community, like with Chris Smoove and Kenny Beats.
Oh yeah, I remember Chris Smoove back in the day.
Yep, and I wasn't like super in it. And then again, I saw yours, and then you introduced me into Tom Grossi.
Yep, Degrassi, Perna.
Yep,
like 5.
Yeah, yep. 5.
Yeah, and I think
I still haven't got Scooter yet. He's the only one that I cannot reach.
Yeah, as I said, I tried to get him, but he's just super busy.
So I'm like, I give up, man.
I said, I'll keep trying for you, dude.
Maybe if I donate some money to his live stream. It's me, dude. I need to give him $40.
Yeah, as I said, he just doesn't open for DMs. I think that's the problem because he's just like he's so used to like a bunch of people just going after him. I think that's why.
All right.
Like because he started off. He's been one of the OGs of doing like the fan reactions.
Long time. Yeah, he's been doing it. He's been doing YouTube videos since like 2009, 2010.
Yeah, he
was like.
So how old were you when you started?
When I started the sports, dude, I was 28, 29.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I'm 37 right now.
Oh, wow. Man, I feel old.
Dude, you're not old, man. Only in spirit. You're young in spirit. That's all that matters.
For real. That's why I said to Jay, I was like, that's why you're hanging out. That's why you hang out with me.
Right. You're a kid compared to us, brother.
Yeah,
you're a kid. Man.
I was like, yeah, I just turned 26 in March, so.
God, I really appreciate it, man.
No, as I said, man, thank you for bringing me on.
Anytime. And I really appreciate it when you asked me to be on the Dumpster Dive about media.
Oh yeah, media day, absolutely, dude. It's a pleasure.
That was really fun. Thank you.
Absolutely, man.
And I again want to thank you also for coming on here. Absolutely. It means a lot to me.
Definitely. Pleasure to meet you, Ken, as always.
Yeah, I hope to, of course, talk in the future. I've been trying to help Jay out. I got him an editor to help with his videos. And
nice.
Just try and help grow his channel as well because he, again, made this podcast with me and allows me to have my own place as well to give off if I want to rant about something like the Packers releasing Jair Alexander or something my own platform. So
yeah, because people like Tree, 5, and Talk, they have helped me a lot. So I'm gonna get back to someone else like they gave to me.
Absolutely, man. It's the best way to do it.
Yeah,
like my belief is always like I know what it's like to struggle. Like I was in radio for 4 or 5 years. I never really got anywhere. I was a board op and like I thought it was done. Like I was in a point where I kept getting screwed over by jobs and a couple other things happened. It was just like I just felt like lost. And I get it.
Yeah, it's really hard, especially now with the landscape of sports, like just the enthusiasts changing. Like everything now is like this weird hot takes, like ESPN mob mentality instead of actually talking like sports of about this, the history, or this game.
The NBA Finals has become Stephen A. Smith versus Tyrese Halliburton instead of about the games.
Exactly.
I know what they're doing, but still, it's like, who pays attention to that?
Yeah, like I want to know about the X's and O's, or like, yo, did you see Tyrese Halliburton play great today? Or did you see he played bad and did this? Like, I want to literally get down to the nitty gritty of the game. Like, it's fun. Like, me and Jay have this sometimes where we'll get like heated, but then literally, as soon as we're done, we're like, so what do you think about this? Like, like sports banter is where it's okay to get allow with your friends sometimes, but like I think people have taken it to like that extra level of now it's just debating again Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless type of arguing, like it doesn't get anywhere. There's no substance to it. It's just you suck, me stuck. Mm-hmm. But like, how do you think? I guess because I've been trying to think of it, but how do you think like? Is that just do you think a play to like just social media in it, or like ESPN like having such a hold on sports media itself? Because like I feel like it was just it happened fast, like the trajectory of it going from you have your enthusiasts and your casuals and you knew, but now it's just casuals have just taken over with again the bickering in the comments, and I think also I want to say it's because of betting as well, maybe.
I would say it's a combination of all the above. I mean, I think the betting has a little bit to do with it, but at the same time, I think it has just more to do with just like generating buzz. I think that's part of it too, because you have to go more and more extreme to get that same sort of high. Because, First Take was really good. Now, the problem is like there are a lot of people doing that. So you got to be the loudest, most obnoxious voice, and that's going to get you the attention. So that's what Stephen A. Smith does well. Like, that's why I don't go off on him, because I know exactly what he's doing. He's just trying to draw eyeballs.
Yeah, that's why I stopped playing.
Because they'd rather have somebody say, like, did you hear how stupid thing Stephen A. Smith said, instead of like doing nothing. So that's why.
I think Skip Bayless is the same way.
I think he's worse,
too. Like, both were the same. Nick Wright's the same. Emmanuel Acho's getting into that sort of mentality. So,
but I know Tree's a busy guy. We got to let him go.
Unfortunately, I got to get back to work. Unfortunately, but it's a pleasure talking with you guys.
Yeah. Before we leave, can we get one of those? Steelers are going to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, what guys are Super Bowl? 9-8, baby, let's go.
Yes, go.
Oh God,
yes, sir.
Thank you for that.
Least I can do, man. Thank you.
I really appreciate this again, Tree. Thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you for inviting me on, as always, my man.
Maybe we can do it again.
Yes, sir.
Now I'll also be joining your lives. I do watch you in 5 too, so
yeah, nice. Thank you, bro.
And tell 5 to keep uploading his stadium videos. Those are right now for the last year have been keeping me so.
Trust me, I'm trying, dude. I'm trying.
All right, guys, we gotta let this man go now. But we just want to thank Tree for doing this. Thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you, guys.
And we are going to go off. Thank you, guys.
Everyone have a good weekend.
Yes, sir.